Be strong.
Hi, so welcome again to my channel, Coolits. Thank you for all those people and followers out there. So for this video, I would like to share to you the book that I've read. The title of the book, Spark. It is written by Jaggard. So it's a wonderful book, and I've read this one for about a week. And I want to share to you some of the most inspiring lines that I get on this book, as well as some insights and takeaway from this book, Spark. So I really like, first, of course, the tagline of this book, which is transform your world one small risk at a time. So here are the inspirational lines that I get from this book. Let me share it to you guys. People change when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing. What I love about life is that people change not only because of pain, but very often because of pleasure. They change not only because their current life hurts, but also because the future could feel so much better. Sometimes we change not to make something stop, but to start something new. I am a fairly normal guy. I have strengths and weaknesses just like everyone else. I have hopes and dreams and fears and insecurities. I'm responsible for my life just like you're responsible for your life. Creating atomic change, why small is the new big. The thing you need most is the thing you want least. That's the thing about risk. It might be exactly what you need, even though you don't sense a need for it. Taking healthy risk is necessary for all of us, but it's also one of the easiest things to set aside. It's something we think around to later when there's a more convenient time. What's one risk I can take this week to make myself a better person or the world a better place? And yet, while we can't be sure about how far we can go, we do know this. We're meant to go further than we are today. We can't deny the urge inside us to be different and to make a difference. We might not be able to reach the sky, but we can step into the opportunities that are right in front of us. We can take risks. We can do the one thing that no one else can do for us. Take responsibility for our lives and our own progress. You discover your passion by taking risks, by getting outside your comfort zone and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. Being fully alive is not about your level of education or how wealthy you are. Being fully alive is not about the kind of car you drive, the size of your house or bank account. It's not about how many awards you've won or whether people appreciate what you do. It's not about your sense of style or whether you got a promotion and a bonus this year or how good looking you are. We may want some of those things and we may eventually obtain many of them, but they're not, in and of themselves, life. We want life more desperately than anything else, yet we run from the beautiful things of life. Life is attractive, but also terrifying because of what it demands to us. To drink deeply of life requires us to be humble, courageous, generous. It demands the best from us and more. One of my least favorite feelings is being falsely accused, or when someone looks at you like they know what you're thinking when they don't. It drives me crazy. The youth 20 years from now needs the youth today to start working on things right now. It is said that knowledge is power, but you have to apply it first. You haven't learned it until you can live it. You will discover that taking a risk to change your life or your world changes things. It's nothing like reading about it, staying up late to theorize about it, or talking with a friend about the what ifs. This is rubber meets the road, real life, going out there and trying things experience. We both know that everything will turn out the way you want it to, but many of the things you try will far exceed your expectations. I'd always loved learning, but I didn't seem to love growing. My whole life, I thought I needed more information, but that had not led to a drastically better life. Now, I was beginning to realize that what lead to a better life has less to do with information and more to do with different choices. We keep learning, but we keep missing the reality that we possess the God given capability to translate what we know into how we live. 9 times out of 10, we know the right thing to do, but we lack the will to carry it out. That's what a spark is. It's a risk of why not. It's one thing to ponder an idea, and it's quite another to take action to bring it to life. Whatever it is, do it. Step out of the ruts of everyday life and step into the unknown. Learn more about the issue or need, but don't learn just for the sake of learning. Learn for the sake of living the kind of life you were meant to live. You were designed to live an inspiring life. This is the will of God, for you to live an inspiring life. A spark to become a light in the darkness, to drink deeply of God and become a well of life for others. Balance is the constantly shifting reevaluation of yourself to keep yourself upright and moving. Balance becomes an act of reflection as you have forward in an ever-changing world. Balance takes into account that life is change and movement. The more you move, the more important balance becomes. Risk requires you to use what you already have to get what you don't currently have. It requires you to be who you already are so you can become the person you never thought you could be. We focus so much on what we're not that we easily forget everything that we are. But we should never allow the ocean of what we don't know to stop us from using the mountain of what we do know. Write down everything you don't like about yourself, your looks, your quirks, your flaws, anything about you that you wish you could change. And then thank God for those things, for in them is a unique way for you to love others that no one else can duplicate. This is coming from Father William Fulco. Our lives, even including our dysfunction, are gifts to those around us. This is because our dysfunction is an opportunity for others to love when it is difficult. You might as well live life on your toes. Don't strive to be perfect, but at least strive to be profound. Expect extraordinary things from yourself. Create extraordinary experience for others. Sometimes we do things in spite of our fear. Other times we do things because of our fear. There is a huge difference between caring about outcomes and being controlled by outcomes. We can't control what we get out of life. We can control only what we put into it. We can't control the outcomes of our taking risks. We can only control if we risk. One of the most common reasons we don't risk is because we're afraid of the outcome. By definition, that's what a risk is. You engage in an action where the outcome is unknown. Life is wild. It cannot be tamed. It can only be chosen. So choose something beautiful. Love is the only force that can fuel the life we were created to live. No amount of guilt or shame can produce the same results. It's love that enables parents to accomplish the superhuman feats necessary to raise children. And love is what enables all of us to go beyond ourselves and taking the risk to change the world. It's definitely a challenge, it's definitely a risk. But most important, it's fun. This is how we spark our world when we begin to realize that learning is a verb and that life is the best classroom. When we begin taking risks of compassion in the context of community. When we start intentionally leaning into our relationships, our careers, our faith. When we step outside of our comfort zones and experience a life that can only exist if God is with us. Our world will begin to change, one small risk at a time. Thank you.